What's up, y'all? Hey, I heard y'all said y'all want to get into real estate. So I just want to go over an appraisal report. An appraisal is just simply somebody that knows property coming in and appraising to see what the property is worth. So it's a lot of factors that go into what the property is worth. How much you paid for it, how much you can rent it out for, what the properties on the next street over, what those sold for in the last couple months. So all of these things go into an appraisal report. So I did a video about comps. A comp is basically comparing two houses to one another. So when you compare two houses, a 2-bedroom versus a 2-bedroom in the same neighborhood that has the same amount of value, like as far as how good they fixed up and things like that, that's how you get the comps, right? But if this property sold for 100,000 and this sold for 110,000, that's how you get the comps out of them. So in an appraisal report, I only posted a picture of one earlier, but this is the whole report. This is how long it is. And it's everything that go into it. If they have garages, where the location at, is it in a flood zone? It shows all the dimensions of the house, how big the house is. Let's see what else it got up in here. I know whenever I did my appraisal, they was asking how much the rents go for in this neighborhood and things like that. That can have an effect on it. You know, they take pictures of the whole house, make sure the foundation is good, make sure all of the roof and everything is good. So they walk through the whole house and look at it like that. They check out the electrical and the roof and everything. So that's what goes into appraisal report. So whenever you ready to buy a house, that's one thing that you need. And it costs about $500, but that's part of your closing costs. Your closing costs includes the appraisal, the lawyer fees, the fees for borrowing the money. So that's in your closing costs, but they add the appraisal into that. So whenever you get an appraisal on a building, you have to get one before the bank can loan you money on it. So the bank wants to know what this house is worth. So you have to pay to show exactly what the house is worth. So the appraiser, he gonna go to all of these houses in the neighborhood that sold within the last 6 months, and he gonna compare them. And that's what a comp is. He gonna compare them to your house and then come up with a value for what it's worth. And sometimes it's worth more, sometimes it's worth less than what you think. Yeah, we do need to meet. We'll meet one day, hopefully. I'm looking forward to it. But whenever you going into the bank, they gonna want that appraisal report. So just to make sure that they invest in a good product, make sure they got a good investment on their hands. So that's what a appraisal report is all about. So some of the things that was in my appraisal report was how much I paid for the house. I paid $95,000 for the house, and the houses on the next street sold for 120, 150. That was the same dimensions as mine. Mine's is 3 bedrooms, so that's what they compared it to. Mines don't have a garage, so a house on the next street that have a garage, they'll take that, they'll factor all of those things in. Does this house have a garage? Did this house not? So if that house with a garage sold for 150 and mine don't have a garage, well then obviously mine would be worth less, right? So they gave me 135,000 appraisal on this property, and they compared it to one that had a garage. You know, they compared the rents on these properties. Mine's is, I was charging $750 at the time. Other people was charging $800. So therefore, the appraisal of their house was higher than what mine was, because they can make more off of their property than I could off of mine. They appraise it by the amount of rooms that you have. If you have every room, it counts, like a bathroom, a bedroom, a dining room. Those is all rooms. So they factor all of those things into your appraisal report. And then let's see what else they got up in here. Just like the flood zone. Is your house in a flood zone? So it's a lot of things that go into an appraisal report. And I posted one of mine online today, so you can take a look at it, see what it is. But I tell people to go to the county assessor website to get an idea of what a property is worth. Now, the county assessor website shows you what the house sold for, how much they pay in taxes and things like that. It don't show you exactly what the house is worth, but you get a good idea of what this property will be worth. So your appraisal. So let's say you live in Madison County, Illinois. You go to www.madisoncounty.com appraisal, like the county appraisal. You go to theirs. Ours is Scott County appraiser. So you go there, look up the property. It's going to tell you who owned the property, what they paid for it, all the information. All of this is public information. So you get the information, and that's how you determine what you're going to pay for this house. So just because they charging $120,000 for a house, that do not mean that the house is worth 120. It could be worth 150. It could be worth 100. We don't know. That's just what they want for the house. I bought a house that was for 25,000. It appraised at 48,000. All right, they only sold it for 28,000. So by it being worth more, I had equity. Equity is whenever you have more than what you owe. I owed 25,000. It was worth 38,000. So therefore, I made $13,000 just by buying this property. So if you go to the county assessor website, you'll see about what it's worth. A real appraiser, he gonna charge you like $500 to get the actual numbers, but you're not ready for an appraiser until you going into the bank. And usually the bank gonna have their own appraiser do it. They gonna want their own type of their own in-house people do it. The people that they've been dealing with, because they know they good people. So that's an appraisal report. And if you want more knowledge on it, just inbox me and I just give you what I got.